Well, hello everyone. John here again, and I'm out here in the woods. As you can see, I'm on the back side of property that leads down to a creek. And if you watched the video I did the other night where I cooked chili out on the fire, if you did, if you recall, there was a moment where I heard some coyotes, and I talked about how the woods came down to a creek here. And what I'm going to look at is the possibility of trying to clear through these woods and get down to the creek. I don't know if we can. It's pretty swampy and boggy down here and thick, with a lot of bushes and marshy area. Uh, I've been up and down the property looking for what might be the best place to come in from, and now I'm at the other side of the property. I've already looked at the first side, and I'm just going to investigate. I'd like to get down here and just slowly start clearing an area. There's a lot of snakes down here, so we got to be really careful. But I'd also like to build a little temporary bushcraft shelter. Not anything big or permanent, just something that while we're down here clearing out, that we can get up under if it starts to rain, or just to hang out. So anyway, I hope you'll join me on this adventure. It's going to be a slow process. It's not going to be where I'm hacking and slashing, just trying to get down to the creek as fast as I can. That just wouldn't do any good. Just a little bit at a time. I'm going to start seeing if I can make my way down, clear out a little bit more than a path, but I'm not going to just, bulldoze the whole area or anything like that. And start working on a little bit of shelter. I don't want to clear out a lot of trees, so I'm only going to build as much of the shelter as I can with what trees I do cut down. I don't know how much that's going to be, but we'll find out. This dog has all kind of paths all through these woods, and he knows them like the back of his hand. So I'm thinking right through here, the land looks pretty high, as opposed to the more marshy area back over that direction. And I think if I cut straight down there, I may be good, but it's hard to tell for sure. I'm gonna have to go exploring back there on another day. It's almost dark, so I'm limited for time. But what I was thinking is I could put a small little shelter right here. The land's on an angle because it goes down to the creek. But this right here is kind of flat. And between those 4 trees, I could build me a little shelter, just a temporary thing, while we're cutting a path down to the creek. So we'll see. Today was just exploratory, just to see what I was dealing with. And I'll come back another day when I have more daylight and actually start doing some work. So we'll see you then. Did y'all see that? Well, maybe wondering what I'm doing. After the first two short videos I took on the other side of the property where I said I was going to clear down to the creek and build a little shelter, that was a couple weeks ago, and I've been thinking about it for quite a while. And what I've decided is I'm not going to go that route. I'm going to come back to this side of the property where I was originally looking at, and I know the land is pretty good almost all the way down to the creek. It's just a further walk, further hike, but that doesn't bother me. So I'm just taking another look. It's almost dark, but I had a few minutes, and I wanted to come down here and just take another route and see. What I want to do is clear a path down here, a better path. As you can see, yeah, it's not too bad, but it's grown up. There's not a clear path. You basically got to deal with a lot of blowdown here, but it's not too bad. So originally I was going to come down here and do a little bit of clearing, and of course before I leave the house I always plan for everything. I make sure I have every item that I'm going to need. Well, guess what I did not bring? I did not bring my axe or my bow saw. So I can't clear too much without either one of those or any other tool that would be good for that. The only thing I have is this, which I could do a little bit with that, but it's really not what ideal for what I need for this type of environment. I don't think I mentioned yet, but this area, I do have to be very careful of snakes, especially cottonmouth moccasins. I do know that right before you get to the creek, the furthest we've been, there was a big old mess of moccasins there. I don't know if they're still there. When we do get down to that point, unfortunately, we're not going to have any choice but to kill them. I do have a pistol on me just in case I do run across one. I'm not a big fan of killing snakes if I don't have to, and certainly not non-poisonous snakes. But moccasins, down here, they're highly poisonous, and they're going to have to go. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna make my way down here a little bit, and I'll bring you back with me here shortly. All right. So this is kind of the area that we end up in. I don't know if you can see it very well. Very dense, boggy, and marshy, and snaky, which is the reason why this is such a big deal. The reason why it's so difficult making the choice of what to do, where to go, how to go about it, is you're talking about dense, marshy land that we would have to clear through by hand. This isn't something that, it's not such a big deal that this is something that we would want to spend money on getting equipment to come down here and do. This is just a little fun project. We've talked about it for years. We know there's a creek back here. We've talked about getting down to the creek and seeing if we can get access to it, but that's the problem. Now this is just one spot, so I do want to look at a couple more spots and just see how it looks. All right, now here's another little area. Looks a little promising. Still a little grown up, but a little bit drier land. You get down in here, it gets pretty grown up. But one thing I can tell, and I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I can look out at the tops of the trees here close to me, the smaller trees here close to me, and out in the distance. And I can see, just based on where the tops of the trees are, that it looks like the creek is not that far ahead of me. Maybe 20 to 30 feet at the most is what it looks like here. And that's just an estimate based on what I can see as far as tops of trees. So that's kind of one way to judge it when you're looking off in the distance. So I think this might be a good spot at least to start exploring, to set up a base, to start looking down in here. Back over this way, there's a nice little spot right up here that's dry. Unfortunately, not very flat. So I'd have to look right around, try to find the, sorry about that, try to find the little flattest spot I could to build a little shelter. Maybe right over there or just right here. Build a little shelter like I was talking about before, just as a little nice spot to, as a base of operations to start clearing down here, and something to get under if it rains, little protection. So, all right. So that looks like the plan. I was hoping to have more on this video. That's why I didn't post the other videos I made the other day, because I wanted to have one long video with me starting to get things cleared out. But I think I'm gonna just go ahead and stop here. So if you're watching this video, this will be the end of it here. And then the next time I get a chance, come down here, make sure I have the proper tools with me. That's always important. And then I'll get started on it. You can see how far I progressed there. Anyway, thanks for joining me. There's not a lot going on in this video, but just a little exploring, which, you know, maybe you'll like, maybe you won't. I hope you'll like it. And until next time, we'll talk to you then. Stay safe.